What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about how to build a fat loss meal. I'm going to share all the different strategies that I like to implement during my fat loss phase. These are the same strategies that I implement with my one-on-one clients to help them achieve their fat loss goals. If you are trying to lose weight, I strongly believe that you're going to benefit from this video. So make sure you stick around and watch it till the end. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you share this video with someone who is on their fat loss journey. And don't forget to comment below to let me know if you are on your fat loss journey. Before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nisha. I'm a fitness trainer and a mom of two in my 40s. I created this channel to inspire you to eat healthy and to get fit in your 40s and beyond. I love to share my healthy plant-based meal ideas that are easy to implement in your busy life. And I also love to share my fitness tips and home workouts on this channel. So if that is something that you are interested in and you're into, then please stick around and subscribe to my channel. All right, so let's talk about how to build your plate to lose some fat. And the reason why I say lose fat, not weight loss, because there is a big difference between losing weight versus losing fat. Losing weight is overall decreasing your weight on the scale. It could mean that you are losing water weight. It could mean you are losing fat. It could also mean that you are losing muscle mass. So that is not our goal. Our goal is to target fat loss while retaining muscle. And the reason for that is as we get older, after the age of 30, every decade we start to lose about 5 to 7% of muscle mass. So as we get older, our bone density goes down and our metabolism starts to slow. So we want to preserve all that so that we can have a better quality of life. And that is the reason why we want to target fat loss, not weight loss. 3 things that you should always consider when you are trying to lose weight. Number 1 is calories are king. Overall, calories are what's going to dictate your fat loss. Number 2, you want to make sure you are keeping your protein high. And the reason for that is to make sure that we are retaining muscle mass while we're targeting fat loss. Protein is a very satiating macronutrient. If I don't build my plate around protein, I'm going to be super hungry within an hour or 2. Whereas if I add some tofu, tempeh, or seitan to my meals, I'm going to be super satisfied from that meal and I am good for the next 4 to 5 hours. Number 3, volume of your food. When we are trying to lose fat, we want to make sure that we are feeling full and satisfied from our meals. I like to focus on low calorie density foods. You've probably heard about low calorie density before. So basically you want to make sure that your plate is full with fruits and vegetables, especially non-starchy vegetables, as they are going to help you feel full for far less calories. My personal favorite veggies during fat loss phase is mushrooms, zucchini, bell peppers, and cabbage. You can add whatever veggies you like, but in my personal experience, cabbage is what helps me feel full. And you can eat tons of cooked cabbage or raw cabbage, and it's so little calories. For example, in this plate that I'm showing you where I'm filling up majority of my plate with cooked cabbage, that is about 250 grams of cabbage and it's only about 45 calories. So that's the reason why I like to add cabbage to my meals when I am on a fat loss phase. So the foods that are going to keep you full for longer is what's going to help you stay on track with fat loss goals. Because if you're constantly hungry, then it's very easy to fall off track and start indulging in a higher calorie meals. So one of the simple swaps that I like to do when I'm trying to be in a calorie deficit to lose some fat is I switch out my overnight oats or pancakes or waffles with simply steel cut oats. Yes, it's a simple swap, and it's in terms of calories, it's about the same. And the reason I like to switch to steel cut oats is personally, I find that I am more full and satisfied after having steel cut oats versus regular rolled oats or having pancakes or waffles. I like to stick to same meals over and over. Again, the reason for that is, first of all, I am enjoying these meals. And number two, I know exactly how many calories, protein, and carbs I'm getting from each of these meals. And it makes tracking that much easier. If you guys want me to get into how to track your meals in Chronometer, I can do another video on that. So please let me know in the comment below. One of the other things that I like to add during my fat loss phase is potatoes to my meals. I find personally potatoes are very satisfying and satiating compared to rice or quinoa or other whole grain. So instead of having rice with my veggies, I will add air fried potatoes with my veggies and some protein. And that to me is a very low calorie meal, but it's also very satisfying and it helps you stay full. So again, you have to find foods that work for you. Everyone is different. I personally find that potatoes work really well when I'm on a fat loss phase, as they help me stay full for a lot longer. I like to also swap out high calorie fruits with low calorie fruits during fat loss phase. So typically a banana has about 110 calories for a medium sized banana. So I like to switch it out with fresh kiwis or mandarins, as they are much lower in calories. And during winter months, I will also use frozen berries like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. They also tend to be much lower in calories compared to bananas. So in this meal, this is my personal favorite meal, where I am adding 100 grams of seitan, and then I'm adding about 250 grams of cabbage, and then I have one air fried red bell pepper. And this is my personal favorite fat loss meal. And with that meal, I like to add my sriracha tofu mayo that I make with silken tofu. And I have shared that recipe with you guys many times on my channel before. I will leave that video's link in the description box below. So this meal alone is going to give me approximately 330 calories with my sauce. Without the sauce, this meal is only 290 calories and 38 grams of protein. So there you can see that this meal is extremely high in volume and it's high in protein, and therefore it's going to help you maintain your calorie deficit by keeping your calories low, but at the same time you're also going to be feeling satisfied from this meal. I personally like to eat this meal for dinner, because during my dinner time, I don't need to eat much carbs before going to bed. So I would eat my carbs in the morning and afternoon, where I need the energy to do my workouts or my energy that I need throughout the day. But for dinner, I like to keep it light and high in protein and fiber, and that's where I can save some calories. Here is another variation of a meal, and I personally do not like this meal to be a fat loss meal as it's higher in calories. It is higher in protein, however, it is lacking fiber. And here in this meal, we are using tahini based dressing, so it tends to increase the calories and fat content. This will not be a filling meal, so in my opinion, this is not a good fat loss meal. This second meal is identical to previous meal. However, here we switched out the tahini based dressing with tofu mayo sauce, and that decreases the overall calories of this meal. However, it's still lacking fiber, so I personally will not be satisfied from this meal. Here is a third variation of a meal where we replace the rice with half an avocado. As you can see, it increased the calorie density of this meal quite a bit. And we also have a tahini based dressing. So overall, this is a very high in fat and high in calorie meal. And it's still going to leave you feeling hungry. So it's not a good fat loss meal in my opinion. Meal number 4 is another example. Here we have added about 1 cup of cooked black beans with some bell peppers and half an avocado. This meal is still lacking fiber and it's lower in protein content. Since my focus is to retain muscle mass during fat loss, I personally will not pick this as a fat loss meal. Here is another final meal variation where we have added some rice and black beans and some bell peppers. I still will not consider this a fat loss meal as it's much higher in carbohydrate and very low in protein. I will still feel hungry after having this meal. So now going back to some of the strategies that I adopt in my fat loss phase, I like to implement preloading my meal with a big glass of water. So before having any meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I'm going to make sure that I'm drinking a large glass of water before my meal. That's going to help me get full quicker with lesser calories. Another strategy you can implement when you are in your fat loss phase is to not eat when you're not hungry. If you're not hungry in the morning for your breakfast, you can totally skip that breakfast and eat later on. So for example, some people might feel more hunger during the day or during dinner time, but you are not that hungry for breakfast. So maybe you can have something small for breakfast and save those calories. That way you can use those calories to really eat your other meals when you are actually hungry. One of the other things that you want to avoid during fat loss phase is liquid calories. And liquid calories are calories that are coming from your Starbucks latte, your Coke, your juices, smoothies. Yes, smoothies are healthy, but smoothies generally don't leave you feeling full and you get hungry within an hour or two. I would focus on chewing your food instead of drinking smoothies during fat loss phase. Another strategy that I like to implement is to eat my food slowly. When you mindfully chew your food slowly, you will realize that you tend to eat less calories overall and you feel more satisfied and full from your meals. So I would highly recommend chewing your foods slowly and putting away your phones and television. Be more present with your mealtime and really focus on each bite and enjoy that meal slowly. Another thing that I like to implement is usually I have sugar cravings in the afternoon after my lunch. And to avoid that, I would either have low calorie ice cream that I make using tofu or protein powder. I want to make this calorie deficit enjoyable and sustainable. So I do like to implement low calorie treats. If you don't want to do that, another thing I like to do is make a decaf coffee in the afternoon, and I sweeten my milk for that decaf coffee with some stevia drops, and I like to use soy milk, and then I sip on that decaf coffee for at least about an hour or sometimes even longer. And I find that by doing that, it really helps me take away those sugar cravings, and it also kind of suppresses your appetite a bit. If you like, you can also increase your caffeine intake during fat loss phase. Studies have shown that increased use of caffeine tends to suppress your hunger. So if caffeine is not going to interfere with your sleep at night, you maybe slightly bump up your caffeine. Everyone is different, so experiment and see how you feel, and you can potentially be okay if you bump up your caffeine intake slightly. One of the other strategies that I like to implement is to eliminate palatable foods or processed foods from your diet during fat loss phase. The reason I say that is because when we are consuming highly palatable food, it's really hard to stop, and you end up consuming a ton of calories with such small amounts. And good example of that is potato chips. If you have some potato chips, it's very likely that you can't stop after having 4 or 5 potato chips. I know I can't, and you will probably end up eating a lot more. And those potato chips are completely empty calories. They're not going to help you feel full, but then you end up consuming a ton of calories. This also means eating out less at the restaurants, because again, restaurant meals are highly palatable. They are meant for you to enjoy, and they want your business. So that's the reason why they make those foods taste really good. And those foods tend to have a lot more calories than the meals that you prepare at home. So I personally don't like to eat out when I'm in a fat loss phase. And one of the other reasons I don't like to eat out or introduce these highly palatable foods in my fat loss phase is because I don't have a ton of weight to lose. I'm just trying to tone down a bit. So when you have very less body fat to lose towards the end of your fat loss phase, you really have to be at least 98 to almost 99% on point with your calorie deficit. Otherwise, you're not going to see changes. You can get away with being 80% on point and 20% enjoying other meals when you have a lot more weight to lose. But as you have less and less weight to lose, that wiggle room completely goes away, and you really have to be on point with your diet in order for you to make any progress. Another thing that I like to do when I'm on a fat loss phase is I cut out cooking with oils or pouring olive oils on salads, or eliminating cashew-based or tahini-based dressings for my meals, because they are super high in calories, and you don't want to add your calories from these dressings. You'd rather eat a high volume plate that is filled with more low calorie density food that's going to help you stay full, versus adding your liquid calories coming from these sauces and dressing. So I am very mindful of that when I'm in a fat loss phase. I switched to my tofu mayo. Yes, I'm super addicted to that stuff. I love that stuff. I don't know, I just can't get tired of it. But if you're tired of that, you can experiment with other spices, but keep the base of that sauce the same. Or I'd like to add some balsamic vinegar, or look for low calorie dressings or sauces, and you can add those to your meals instead. And I would stay away from cashew based and tahini based sauces and dressings. Before we end this video, I just wanted to show you that even though avocados are healthy, they are extremely high in calories. So if you really still want to continue to enjoy your avocados during a fat loss phase, you can switch the quantity of the avocado. I personally like to eat about just quarter of an avocado to my meal. I highly encourage you to watch my YouTube shorts on how to eat avocado toast during a fat loss phase. That is one of my most popular and watched video on my channel. I will leave that link in the description box below. But this is another great fat loss meal that you can enjoy during your fat loss phase. If you guys have any question regarding all the things that I've mentioned in today's video, then please comment below and I would love to help you out. I hope you guys will find value from all the tips that I've shared here today. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you very soon on my next one. Bye.